Hi guys, today we have Lindsay Glickstein, who founded Starlicity, which is a talent management and publicity firm specializing in celebrity and influencer talent. She represents talent on reality programs such as The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Big Brother, The Amazing Race, and even The Real Housewives. She has been featured in Us Weekly, New York Magazine, The Cut, Vice, and many more. She has also produced shows and pilots with NBC and Harpo Productions for The Oprah Winfrey Show. She began her career in the entertainment industry in her hometown of Chicago and currently resides in my favorite city, New York. Please welcome Lindsay Glickstein. Let's start off by, Lindsay, you telling a little bit about yourself. I already gave your bio so they kind of know how amazing you are, but kind of what you're working on now and how we got in contact with each other.
Well, we obviously connected through your mom, Tina, who's amazing, and she's in the business, and she's just a great producer and all around amazing human. So I'm happy that she connected us. And it's just so funny how we have such a similar career trajectory, and we've lived in the same places. And so I love talking to you about your journey and kind of mentoring you a bit as to what you should be doing and what you want to do, and kind of pushing you to do those things.
I love that. I mean, you really are a mentor to me, and that's the reason why I brought you on this podcast. Let's talk about where you are in your career right now in the pandemic.
Okay. So I'm a talent manager and publicist, and my company is Starlicity. It's primarily talent management. I'm a talent manager, and what I do is I represent talent in the reality TV space, as well as influencers, celebrities, etc. So the pandemic's affected everyone, and how we've had to do business and pivot and hustle and just kind of figure out next moves, especially because I rep a lot of television personalities. So a lot of filming and everything else, as you know, has gotten pushed back or postponed. And so it had been a really hard few months in the beginning when no one knew what was going to happen, or what next steps were as far as are we filming or when are we filming? And I've been lucky enough that since a lot of my clients are in the reality TV space, they were able to film.
Mm-hmm.
And film safely, and the shows are out now and airing. So we've been just really grateful that that's been able to happen, because nobody knew what was going to happen, and obviously we still don't know, but at least they're able to provide entertainment. What can I say?
So many businesses too have shut down. So the fact that you're still going strong, I mean, that's just incredible. So I kind of want to get right into it. And the reason why I brought you on this podcast. So many people are afraid to really follow their dreams and go after what they want. You started, like me, as a talent agent in Chicago. And then my question to you is, what made you kind of take that risk, take that jump, move to New York City, and start your own company, which has now turned into this amazing empire?
Thank you. That is very nice. So I relocated to New York for a job at an agency. And so I didn't start
that.
Yeah, I didn't actually start with the company when I moved. And I think that one of the things that I can tell you is that had I done it the other way around, I don't know if I would have had the success that I currently have, because I feel like I had to figure out living in a different place and make more contacts. And it's all about your relationships, your contacts, etc. And I think that being there physically had really helped me, but it took a number of years, because I worked in an agency for 2 years when I moved from Chicago to New York. And then after that, actually went back to casting, which is something that I had been doing before I was ever an agent.
Mm-hmm.
So what had happened was I built up contacts back in the reality space, because when I was in Chicago, I was representing talent on television. So I kind of had to figure out, being 2 years out of it, because I was representing print models, and it was a division that it was not where my background was. And I thought I'd have more ability to work with talent. And it just was a situation where anyone can relate, in the business or not in the business, to feeling kind of stuck.
And I've heard many people say this, oh, I hate my job. Why am I doing this? So because it's scary to take that risk, to leave your job, which is a really good job, to take that risk to go off on your own, and you didn't know if you were going to succeed, fail, what. So what gave you that motivation to say, okay, this is it, I'm going to take that jump?
So one of the most major things that I can tell you is that I kind of didn't, which isn't the best advice to give, but for me, I didn't sit there and like dwell on it or think about it, because the position that I was in, I had left the agency and I was working in casting,
Mhm.
and I was on a project basis with them to kind of figure out, but every 5 minutes I had another project coming in, and it wasn't that long of a time span. It was just like I was doing it and I was doing a good job with it, and they were casting the people that I found on these shows. And I just said to myself, this is the time now to do it, because I built back the contacts that I wasn't able to work with when I was at the agency. And I was like, I'm just going to do this. And the worst that's going to happen is it's going to fail.
So,
And
so you jumped right in. You didn't even think about it. You just said, I'm going, and it's happening.
oh, and trust me, like friends, family were all like, are you insane? How could you just start a business? You know nothing about the business side of a business, which I know you and I had talked about. And it's something that when you come from the agency background, you don't realize, or any job at all, if you're not the person who's handling the accounting and the like checks and any of these things, you have no idea how to run a business. Like we could be amazing at our jobs in this industry, and I feel like it's nothing. Like you're like thrown into the deep end and you have no idea what to do. You have to know about like W9ing people and all the tax stuff and doing all of these things, and it's crazy. And that's one of the things that was honestly one of the things that I struggled with, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it was kind of a fake it till you make it on the business front.
And I love that you said fake it till you make it. I've always been that type of person. If you have the confidence to just go in and do something and believe yourself, other people are going to believe you. Um, so I think that's super important too, because none of us have all the answers, and especially starting your own business. So would you say that you really just learned things as they came, and then kind of that confidence came and it kind of grew that way?
So on the business front, I feel like I did a lot of that at like after hour times, because I was so busy hustling for my clients during the workday that after hours I'd be like, oh no, I haven't gotten to those like 10 invoices that I have to do. So that's when I would like do the catch up work, because to me that was catch up work. But unfortunately, that's how you get paid. And so you have to do that stuff.
So
And
it was long, long hours, obviously.
oh, I literally, like anyone who works with me or as a client knows that I work 24/7. I am married to my job, and it's just how I choose to live. Like it's not how everyone chooses to live, and it's not for everyone. And it's not always easy. And you get very close to people, and the relationship side of this is very difficult because it does become somewhat personal, even though it is business, especially when I am so close with the clients that I represent and I am so hands-on with every single part of their career.
Mhm.
So it's a matter of like finding people who are loyal, and my sense of loyalty is like probably too loyal, but I'm not someone who's going to like go poach other people's clients. That's
And
another
that's why you're
thing.
so successful. So, what is your biggest advice to somebody who wants to start their own business?
Well, I definitely think that figuring out doing what I did is probably not the right move. Just doing it and seeing what happens. But I think that if you have the experience and you kind of prepare yourself, and especially now, if you asked me this question now, like, would I start my own business in a pandemic? Like, I would not. Advice to someone who's going to start now, I would say if you're going to do it now, that you should prepare and you should do your research and you should figure out in whatever industry that you're in what it is that you can do and find something that you could do differently.
Mm-hmm. You said that you wouldn't recommend what you did, but I kind of feel opposite, because I've always been the type of person that says start before you're ready, like jump in. And if you're going to fail, you'd rather try than not try at all. So
It's true.
I
I
think,
think it depends. Like if you're unemployed, then I would say like go for it, go do it, do your thing. But now in a pandemic, when nobody knows kind of what's happening in the world, it's very scary to think of just like starting a business from scratch now. That.
right. And look, now your company is growing. You have other, you found a way to get people to do the things that maybe aren't your strongest, but it takes time to get there, and you learned along the way. And I just look up to you for taking that risk, because seeing what you've made and you've created now is just mind-boggling to me. I mean, it's incredible. It really is incredible. And you have huge clients, from The Bachelor to The Real Housewives, you know, all of our favorite people. And they trust you because you know what you're doing. You've been doing this forever, even though you're so young. And you just are the best of the best. You really, really are. Okay, so now we're doing the final segment. It's called Let's Make Waves, aka Spilling the Tea. This is going to be a flash round where I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you a question. No filter, dive head first. Let's go. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Hottest celebrity you ever met?
George Clooney.
What? You did not meet him.
I met him on the red carpet at the Golden Globes, and actually my whole family was there, and they've never seen me like speechless like that. And something came over me and I like couldn't even speak. It was crazy. And I've met so many people and it never affects me at all. And they're just like normal people, but I don't know, something about him. Just
I've only been speechless with one celebrity, and it was when I was in LA. I met Brody Jenner at at a club in LA, and I couldn't speak. I don't know what came over me, but I just like couldn't speak. Okay, keep going. Most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you at work?
I'm trying to think, what's happened to me at work? I mean, there's been times where I've like called the wrong person over the years and had to like, be like, oh no, you booked that. Oh wait, it's not you. Or
do you like try to play dumb, or do you have to like, I don't know.
I mean, I think that happened many years ago, and I was just like, oh God, I have to fix this immediately.
That actually
something like that.
They have the same name, and you call them, and you think it's that person, and then you're like, wait.
Yes, it was one person with the same first name, and I was like, oh wait. And we had a computer system that like pulls it up, and it pulled up the wrong thing, and then
oh my God.
But other than that, there's not much like, I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of things I'm not thinking of.
What item you cannot live without?
My phone. I am attached to my phone.
If you could trade places with one living person on the planet, who would it be?
I think this is going to sound bad, but I was always told not to want to walk in somebody else's shoes. So I think that there's obviously things we all want that we don't have, but I'm pretty happy with myself and the way that I am right now. So
amazing. That doesn't sound bad at all. That's literally the best answer anybody could ever say. So that's amazing.
I feel like sometimes you think that somebody's life is so perfect, and it's not always the way it appears. So I think that you kind of
the most important thing is to be happy with yourself. So that's amazing. Greatest single achievement in your career?
Definitely starting my business. I'm just very grateful of what I've been able to build and do, and I hope it continues.
Celebrity crush?
George Clooney, sure.
Okay, this is my favorite one. Biggest splash you've ever made in the industry?
Biggest splash I've ever made in the industry. I guess leaving the agency world, and well, first of all, I guess there's a multiple parts to it, but moving to New York and working there, and just like getting out of being a big fish in a small pond in Chicago, and then moving there and then starting my business. I think people really like, it was amazing. I know that, you know, when I did the backstage opportunity, they had me speaking on a panel for backstage, and there were thousands of people on there, and a huge percentage of them were actors and hosts and people that I represented in Chicago. And they were just like so proud of everything that I've done, and they've been following my career. And I just had no idea that these people even thought of me or looked at anything. And
full circle moment for you. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us today. I love you. You are such an inspiration to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then where can everybody follow you?
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's Starlicity, PRNY, StarLicity, PRNY. That is the main place to follow me, because that's where I actually post all my clients and kind of what they're doing and all of that. So if they're on a new show, or a show's airing a certain night, or they do, you know, a brand deal, a partnership, that goes on there, or anything else. So follow me there.
Amazing. Well, you are so fabulous, and I hope to see you very soon and in person. As soon as this is all over, we have to get drinks, and I need to come to New York.
You do.
Take you to my favorite restaurant.
Thank you.
Well, I love you and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.